This morning, a Georgia woman, she's waiting to be sentenced after she pleaded guilty to stealing more than $4 million from Facebook, where she worked as an executive. According to the U.S. Attorney, Furlow-Smiles made inflated invoices to pay for, quote, a lavish lifestyle. This includes babysitters, preschool tuition, and hairstyles. Her sentencing is in March.
For many years in America, women have fought for their rights to be included into the private sector, and they just didn't want to be minimalized just because of their gender or because of their beauty or for other things. Women wanted to rise up in the private sector based on their merit, and companies had to realize that situations, governmental institutions like affirmative action helped women and Black people in general get into places of academia and places of employment. But not every company got along with the program until they did. Many liberal-owned companies, especially those based out of the West Coast, decided they needed to include diversity into their profiles. And companies like Facebook took this opportunity to include those people who were typically left out of the private sector. Black people, and to be more specific, African American women. Even Goldman Sachs, companies like this, pledged to give Black women over $10 billion in financing Black women's businesses. But let's go back to Facebook. Rewind, Nima! Facebook is a great company. It's a powerhouse. It's a juggernaut on social media. Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, you know the drill. It's huge and we all need it. We all love it. We've grown up on it. And that was a great place for Barbara Furlow-Smiles. This beautiful lady is 38 years old, and listen, she was a global diversity executive at Facebook. She basically was the lead strategist, global head of employment resource groups, and diversity engagement at the company from January 2017 to September 2021. Give her a round of applause. And if you look at her, she is gorgeous. Stop the show. The feet could have a little bit more lotion on them. Point the arrow there. But hey, everything else is on point. The lady is stunning and absolutely intelligent, but there's one problem. It seems like this young lady here was using her position at Facebook to do more than to help people who were diversity employees. Barbara Furlow-Smiles got a little bit too greedy. About $4 million too greedy. God damn. But fast forward, neighbor. Well, how do we know this? Well, here's a few things that she was doing. You see, when she worked for the company, she didn't really just steal the money outright, like going into the bank account and embezzling the money. No. What she would do is she would undermine the position and importance of her diversity hire mission. So whatever that mission was, and I'm pretty sure it was to, get people included into this company, could be, those of the LGBTQ community or those of the Latino and Black community. Instead of doing that based on merit, she was taking bribes, something that corrupt officials do in government. But okay, so you took that, right? No problem. Well, stop the show. She elaborated a criminal scheme in which fraudulent vendors paid her kickbacks in cash. What does that mean? Basically, if you are a vendor and I decide I want to work with you and I'm going to give you the deal for Facebook, assuming that I'm the corrupt person pretending to be her, here's what I would do. Sad music. All right, man. So what we going to do is I'm going to include you, on the vendor. I'm going to make sure you get this contract. But you gotta give me $100,000 in cash. So boom, once you give me the cash, right? Phone ring sound, Dima. I'm gonna call my mom or my brother or Dima, who's editing the video. And then what I'm gonna do is basically send the money to him, which is like money laundering, or I'll basically take some of that money and pay him for a service that he didn't do. Or what I will do is I would say, hey, Dima, why don't you edit this video for $50,000 for Facebook? He won't edit it, but he'll send the bills to Facebook. I'll make sure he gets the money and then he'll give me $25,000 cash. Can I get a cha-ching sound effect? And the former diversity executive did this by, let's count the companies. Let's put the logo up there. PayPal, round of applause. Venmo, Cash App, and Facebook credit cards in these accounts to pay friends, relatives, and other associates for goods and services provided to Facebook. But stop the show. Oh, none of those people ever got those goods and services. Can I get a dun 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 sound effect? To conceal these fraudulent charges, she just submitted fake expense reports, pretty much saying her associates provided the merchandise or marketing services. This pretty much sounds like Jay Morrison, in which she would say, like, hey, as Facebook, I'm gonna hire this company to basically do a campaign for Facebook, which is very, very common, right? Let's say you have a marketing company and Facebook wants to advertise a diversity conference somewhere in Georgia. Well, then you can hire your cousin who is registered as that marketing company, and you can pay that person because you have the power to do so. But that person doesn't do the job, and you split the money. So there you go. And then here's something else. Once they would get the money, they would send the money back to her in cash or transfer to accounts in her and her husband's name. Can I get a dun 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 sound effect? To conceal the transaction, sometimes her associates would wrap up the cash in other items like t-shirts, or she would direct her associates to pay each other. But no, hold on. What would she do with the money? Now, you will never understand this. Let's go back to the picture of her with the ashy feet a little bit. Nothing wrong with her feet, but they do need some lotion on them. She would basically do this: pay friends, relatives, former interns, nannies, babysitters, and hairstylists, and her university tutor. Let's go back to that hair, right? That weave. That weave is looking astonishing. She looks beautiful. She looks great. But that weave is what's stolen money. And now she is about to be sentenced on March 19th. But this sounds like somebody else we've been talking about, right? Yeah, it sounds a lot like Tiffany Henyard.
So next I want to say a couple statements that the board made. And it's a shame. I told you I got babies on my board. I think y'all need to send us some Similac and some bottles, please, pacifiers. So the board approved one of the checks, and that's what 5-Star, and I know that's probably why you're here today. They approved the check back in the past. I don't have the exact date. And I don't know, for those that have been watching our board meetings, Trustee Jason House and Clerk Key was on the bank account that they hijacked. I told y'all about that. They will be going to jail for that because that is a felony. Little do y'all know. You cannot walk in the bank and basically take someone off $1 million bank account, which they did. So you know it's all a setup.
Good evening, residents. Unfortunately, the Dalton trustees had to adjourn this meeting abruptly. And the reason for that is we've been repeatedly asking for information that's been documented time and again about credit card statements. We haven't received credit card statements in 6 months. We haven't gotten the electronic warrant list, but yet we're supposed to vote on it. We haven't gotten factual information about the tax increase. This is a tax increase for the residents, and we're fighting to get information about that with no discussion and no input from the residents. So unfortunately tonight we had to adjourn the meeting early. We will be hosting a special board meeting tomorrow at 6:30 at Dalton Park District, 14700 Evers. We hope to see you there. Please come with your questions. We look forward to answering everything in a dignified manner. Thank you.
And even, I believe her name is Monique Owens, out there in East Point, Michigan.
Well, the mayor of East Point is charged tonight in a case of alleged corruption involving COVID relief funds.
Mayor Monique Owens is accused of lying on an application to get thousands of dollars for a business she owns. 7
Action News reporter Brett Cast is in East Point now with the case against her and why she is no stranger to controversy.
Well, this is not the first time the mayor has faced criticism, but in the past it's been from residents about comments and behavior at city council meetings.
There's some things that need to be said, and they need to be said in person. I'm here in support of Councilman Curley.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop you right there, or we're gonna stop the council meeting because I'm not gonna let you speak on something that has to do with police.
But the police and going to say.
Here's another African-American young lady around the same age who has the opportunity to come up in a big company, and then you're not doing the right thing. This is not to say that black women are all like this, but again, you know, if you don't want to work and do the work to get the right thing, then you're gonna get caught. you do know you work for a big company like Facebook. Did you think you're that smart? And you always have to realize, you're black. So people are going to pay attention to what you're doing because you're black. Duh. Well, guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate for all you do. Subscribe with the bell. We're out.